This is a sports car. It's a rear-wheel drive, internal combustion powered thrill ride that is designed to not only please and entertain the driver, but exude charisma. Now, a lot of enthusiasts will say that an electric version of something like this couldn't work, but can you make an electric sports car with charisma? Let's find out.
A few moments later.
Yes. Yes, it can. What a mad car. This is the 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5N. It's designed to be lighter, quicker, and more powerful than the Ioniq 5. Let's take it for a drive and see what it's like. Behind the wheel of the Ioniq 5N, as I drive very quickly. It's an Ioniq 5, so I'm not going to rehash all of the stuff that makes the Ioniq 5 so good. The space, visibility out of it, the fast charging times, all of that's still here. What the folks at N did was they replaced all of the suspension components. They added some super sticky Pirelli tires, and they removed some of the weights. And then they did a lot of wizardry with configuring all of that and making that all work. So even in the full-on N attack mode, the suspension is stiff, but it's still compliant. But what you will constantly hear me doing is shifting, which is very weird in a car with one gear. So unlike a Porsche Taycan that has a 2-speed axle at the rear, this is just a single drive unit. What engineers have managed to do, they have managed to make this car feel like an 8-speed dual clutch in ways that I don't understand, because it's software. It is only software. How can they make the car feel it cuts the power just the same way a DCT would? But what else it does is it lets you bounce off the rev limiter, and then when you pull into the next gear, it slaps you back. It feels and behaves. If you had no idea this was an electric car, the way that the powertrain feels, the way that it responds when you pull a paddle for a shift with the shifter, it all feels like an internal combustion sports car. And it is wild how they're able to do this. I've seen similar stuff, like the Porsche Taycan, like GTS, but that's still using a real gearbox. This isn't using a gearbox at all. Now, is it all fake? Yes, absolutely. The noise is fake. Everything is fake. But it also doesn't matter. They map torque curves for the power delivery of the electric motors to mimic that of a gas car. If you are looking for a sports car experience, this delivers a sports car experience. If you are looking for the good news that the future is going to be bright, this car is it. I'm almost amazed at how good it is. Objectively, yes, here's the thing. It is fake. So if you are coming into this as a sports car enthusiast and you are like, well, I don't know how I feel about that, you have to be able to consciously in your head say, look, I'm willing to give this car a shot. I'm willing to give this car a chance. And if you do, if you can get over that mental hurdle of this is software, it delivers a driving experience that you would expect from a higher performance sports car. It definitely outperforms any N car that I've driven, for sure, so far. And dare I say, it's as fun as a Taycan in almost all normal driving situations. Some areas where it differs maybe a little bit. I kind of like the Taycan's brake feel a little bit better. Feels a little bit more natural. They've done a really good job at blending in the way they handle regen and full braking. This car just feels its weight a little bit more, and the brakes feel still a little too artificial. But that's by no means a deal breaker. And yes, the car still feels heavy. I would argue that it does miraculously drive smaller than it is. Ioniq 5 is a very large car, but you still feel that weight in the corners. They still move around a little bit. Like it maybe isn't as planted as a Taycan, but I'm sitting higher up in this. They've lowered the seats from the Ioniq 5, but I'm still sitting higher up in this than I am in a Taycan. This is a quote-unquote crossover. Like, it is not designed to necessarily be that type of a competitor, but the advantages are huge. There's amazing amount of rear seat space. There's rear hatch space. There is all-season kind of capability with slap a set of winter tires on here. Like, it is all here, and it's everything that you would expect if you've driven a gas-powered N car, instrument cluster, things like that. It's running Hyundai's new infotainment system, which has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and a better user interface, and it's customizable to all get on. Like, if you want to drive just around in the eco mode, do it. Eco mode's great. But if you want to bomb down a back road, if you want to go down your favorite twisty road, this may be one of, if not the best EVs to do it in. When the Ioniq 5N goes on sale later this year, it'll have a price of $67,000 with delivery. Options are very, very limited. If you want the matte blue paint, it's $1,000, $210 for carpeted floor mats. But basically, as you see it, is the only way you'll be able to get it in North America. The best thing that I can say about the Ioniq 5N is that it is a N car first that happens to be electrified. It isn't a platform that they made an EV and said, oh, we're going to make a performance car out of it. It does what Porsche does, which is sticks to its brand first and then adds electrification. This car is great. It's fantastic. I want one, put it in my driveway. Sorry if that makes me biased. Now you can learn more about the Ioniq 5N by watching Craig Cole's first look by clicking right over here.